Well, back over to Dynamite, we were at the 9 o'clock hour, Brian. They got to haul out the big guns, the heavy hitters, and we got the Ring of Honor TV title match. And that would sound even more ridiculous than it is, except they've had a great Ring of Honor TV champion, Samoa Joe, maybe the only real main event heel they've got right now in that company. And they put him against Keith Lee in that red hot program. I'm not going to describe a lot of this match, although it would be easy because not a lot happened. But remember the old kind of rule of thumb I've talked about, Brian, where the fans in their minds and or the Mark Bookers in their minds think they want to see the irresistible force against the immovable object, the Road Warriors against the Warlord and Barbarian, the Giant against the Giant. But when they actually see it, it doesn't do anybody any favors.
Right.
This was it. They want to see the big baby face beat up a little heel with fucking heat, or they want to see the big fucking heel, pretty much clobber the littler baby face and let the littler baby face be goddamn resourceful and overcome adversity. But Joe can still go. The problem with Keith Lee, and when he was on NXT, we said, wow, he's got some physical gifts. This guy, you could do something with him. But then the more I saw of him, and then when he switched affiliations and was allowed to do more of his own thing, the more I realized why they weren't doing anything with him. His promos are abysmal because that sing-song lilting voice. He makes weird fashion choices from gear to whether he dyes his hair or not. He'll look like Father Time 1 minute and fucking have jet black hair the next. And he can do he did a leapfrog in this match and a crossbody. And he can do a couple of athletic things, but the pace for Keith Lee is glacial, where he does a thing or two, but then he's got to walk around. Is it the result of he's 40 now or whatever his age is? Is it the illness that he had, the COVID complications? I think if you got the Keith Lee of 10 years ago and made him a heel and gave him a manager and never heard him speak, and kept the matches short, that you would have had something. And maybe a big something. Because you could get that fucker over despite his best efforts if you controlled him. And he was young enough to get it done. But I'm thinking the window has closed. We've been talking about windows. What do you think?
I think the window's closed. I think without knowing anything firmly, it seemed like there was some kind of health issue for a while, and since he's come back, either he's not the same guy, or naturally, due to his size and age, he can't be what he was just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Baseball players, sometimes you go from hitting 35 home runs to the next year you can't hit more than 10. It's just finally it happens. I don't know if it's that or what it is, but...
Do you remember when Crusher Blackwell was the guy in 1981, 82 that everybody in the wrestling, all the fans wanted to see? He was amazing. You couldn't take your eyes off that shit. Holy mackerel. By 1987, he was working indies in Georgia and was a shell of his former self. It was the size and the weight. But anyway. But yeah, so Joe... After whatever they did, he got a choke and choked him out. I'm like, Jesus. But then Joe does a promo in the ring. And remember, I said, well, at least he's made the Ring of Honor TV title something. I am the best wrestler on television. And he could hold that up and he could crow about it and defend it and brag about it. And it gave him something. So he comes out and vacates the Ring of Honor TV title. I want the AEW World title. I'm not going to settle for second best, so I'm vacating this. Whether you like it or not, Max, is what he said. Why not keep it and win the other title too? They've established that can be a thing that happens there. But why? Isn't that like giving up your goddamn your bank account before you've got the next check? Why not keep it and be safe?
MJF is literally a Ring of Honor champion right now.
Yes. He's the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion and the AEW World Champion. So why can't Samoa Joe be the Ring of Honor TV Champion and the World Champion? So now we've got another vacant title with potentially another tournament that'll have to take place after the tournament that they're about to have, and we're not, they announced the other tournament on Collision, which we're not watching because Jesus Christ, we've only got so much time.
And that's a round robin tournament. That's a round robin tournament.
So we'll keep the people updated on all the tournaments as they come up.